the ancient art of mastering the mind, a journey beyond negative thought. Long before the cities of men rose from the dust, long before the quill learned to dance across parchment, there were those who walked in silence beneath the stars. They did not measure the worth of their days by the noise of the world, nor by the turning of coin in their palms, but by the clarity of their mind. These sages, cloaked in the whispers of the wind, knew that the true battlefield was not on the earth, but within the mind itself. To them, thoughts were like seeds cast into the fertile soil of the soul. Some seeds bore fruit that nourished life, while others grew thorns that wounded the heart. And they understood something that the hurried men of later ages would forget. No seed takes root without permission. Even the darkest thought requires the soil of attention to grow. If you wish to command the storms within you, you must first stand as the still mountain. Do not rush to strike down a negative thought, for the more you fight it, the more life you give it. Instead, let it drift before you, as a cloud drifts before the sun. Look upon it, but do not become it. Name it, but do not wear it as your own. There is an old teaching from the Valley of Shifting Sands. A traveler came to a wise elder and said, "Master, my mind is filled with shadows. I cannot rest, for these thoughts haunt me day and night." The elder poured tea into a cup until it spilled over. "You are like this cup," he said. "You keep filling yourself with what you do not need. Empty yourself. When you feel the shadow come, do not feed it with stories. Do not chain it to your identity. Let it pass through you as wind through the open reeds." This is the first truth of mastery over the mind. You are not your thoughts. They arise like echoes in the valley, but the valley is not the echo. You are the space in which they appear and disappear. The second truth is awareness. The ancients called it the Ever-Wakeful Flame. It is the quiet presence that sees without judgment. When a thought comes, do not cling to it, and do not flee from it. See it for what it is, a formation of energy, a ripple upon the waters of the mind. In seeing clearly, you rob it of its power to command you. The third truth is choosing the seeds you water. Imagine your mind as a vast garden. Some plants bear healing fruit, some bear poison. What you give your attention to will grow, and what you withdraw your attention from will wither. When the old masters felt the rise of anger, fear, or sorrow, they would turn their focus to the breath of the eternal, slow, deep breathing that anchored them in the present moment. For the present is the sacred gate through which the storm cannot pass. Negative thoughts live either in the past, where regrets take root, or in the future, where fears are born. But here, in the now, they have no foothold. This is why the sages would walk in the gardens at dawn, listening to the sound of the earth breathing, until the mind returned to the silence from which it came. You may ask, how can I choose my thoughts when they come unbidden? The old ones would tell you, you cannot always choose which bird flies over your head, but you can choose which one is allowed to build a nest in your hair. When the shadow knocks at your door, you do not have to invite it in for tea. They also spoke of the mirror of truth. In this mirror, every thought that arose was seen as a reflection, not as reality. This is where you must train your mind to stand. If a thought says, "I am unworthy," you look into the mirror and say, This is only a reflection. It is not who I am. Over time, the mirror clears and the mind becomes a still pool, reflecting the heavens without distortion. Another way the ancients tamed the dark tides was through the chant of the sacred names. Not always names of gods or spirits, but names of virtues, peace, courage, compassion, strength. When the shadow rose, they would speak these names aloud or within the heart. Each name was like a torch in a cavern, reminding them that light was never far away. Yet the deepest teaching was this: the shadow exists so that you may know the light. A negative thought is not your enemy, but your teacher. It arrives to show you where you are still chained, where you still believe the old lies whispered by fear. If you run from it, you will meet it again and again. If you face it, you will walk through the gate that it guards. In the Temple of Silent Winds, the elders taught that each person carries within them an inner watcher. This watcher does not sleep and does not speak. It simply observes, unmoved by joy or sorrow. To connect with the watcher, they would sit in the cool dark before dawn, close their eyes, and sink beneath the noise of thought. At first, the mind would resist, throwing up old memories, worries, and judgments. But with each breath, they would descend deeper, until they found that still place where the watcher waits. In that place, negative thoughts could not touch them. Modern men speak often of controlling the mind through force, but the ancients knew that force begets resistance. They learned instead to loosen the grip, to let go, to become as water flowing around the rock. Water wears down the rock not by striking it, but by being patient. This patience is the great weapon against the armies of dark thought. When you walk this path, you will not always succeed at first. The shadow will return. But remember this: mastery is not the absence of the shadow. It is the knowing that the shadow is not you. Each time you remember this, you grow stronger, and the shadow grows weaker. The journey is not to silence all thought, but to choose which songs the heart will sing. This is the way of the ever-wakeful flame. This is the art of mastering the mind. And those who walk this path will find that even in the deepest night, the stars will always shine. Thank you for watching. If this video resonates with you, please consider subscribing. See you in the next video.